When I first married Sarah, I thought we had built the perfect life. We had a comfortable home, stable finances, and our daughter, Emily, who was the center of my world. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Sarah grew distant, and Emily, who had always been sweet and caring, started acting cold. I told myself it was just stress or the natural growing pains of life, but I had no idea that both of them were secretly plotting something that would shake my world to its core. It started with subtle hints. Sarah would make comments about needing excitement in her life, and Emily, now in her early 20s, would mock my work ethic, saying I was boring. Then, one day, I overheard Emily talking to a friend on the phone, laughing about Dad's face when he finds out. My stomach tightened, but I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I decided to pay closer attention. A week later, Sarah left her phone on the kitchen counter. A message popped up from an unknown number, *, can't wait to see you tonight. Don't worry, he'll never know. *, my hands shook as I read it, but something told me this was too easy, almost like it was planted. I later found out I was right. Over the next month, Sarah and Emily began, accidentally, letting me see photos and messages suggesting they were both involved with other men. Emily posted selfies with an older man, and Sarah kept forgetting to delete texts from someone she called Mark. It was cruel and calculated, but the thing was, I didn't believe it was real. They were trying to make me jealous or break me down. One night, Emily confessed that she was dating a married man, and Sarah claimed she was seeing an ex from high school. Their tone was smug, as if they were expecting me to yell, cry, or beg. I didn't give them the satisfaction. I simply nodded and said, I see. That seemed to throw them off. They exchanged a quick glance, almost like they were unsure of the next step in their plan. That night, I lay in bed thinking about all the years I had sacrificed for them, how I'd worked long hours, provided for every comfort, and put their needs before mine. If they wanted a reaction, I'd give them one, but on my terms. And it wouldn't be the reaction they were hoping for. The next morning, I called my lawyer. Quietly, I began moving assets into a trust under my name only. I froze our joint accounts, rerouted my salary to a new bank, and started preparing divorce papers. Meanwhile, I acted like nothing was wrong. I smiled at dinner, made small talk, and even agreed to take Sarah out for a date night. 2 weeks later, I set my plan in motion. I invited my brother, my parents, and a few close friends over for a casual gathering. I told Sarah and Emily it was just a family dinner. But during dessert, I stood up, pulled out a folder, and began reading aloud the messages and photos they had been flaunting. I asked each of them, "Is this real? Or were you just trying to manipulate me?" They stayed silent, realizing everyone in the room now knew. The air grew heavy with embarrassment. My mother shook her head in disgust. My brother muttered under his breath, "Unbelievable!" I calmly explained how, whether their affairs were real or fake, they had destroyed any trust one had left. Then I handed Sarah her divorce papers right there at the table. Emily started crying, saying it was just a prank, and they didn't mean it. Sarah tried to claim it was a way to test my love for them. But the damage was already done. I told them I no longer wanted either of them in my home, and that they'd have to find somewhere else to live. Within a week, Sarah moved in with her sister, and Emily went to stay with a friend. They were shocked when they realized they had no access to my money, no car in their name, and no claim on the house. My lawyer had made sure of that. Months later, I heard through mutual acquaintances that both of them were struggling financially. Sarah's sister eventually kicked her out, and Emily dropped out of college because she couldn't afford tuition. Part of me felt sorry for them, but not enough to undo what I had done. They had played a game, and they lost. As for me, I found peace in solitude. I reconnected with old friends, started traveling, and finally began living for myself. The hurt they caused didn't vanish overnight, but each day I reminded myself, they had underestimated me, and I had turned their scheme into their downfall. Sometimes, people think they're smarter than you. They think they can toy with your emotions and control the narrative. But if you stay calm, observe, and strike at the right moment, you can walk away with everything, while they're left with nothing.